When I started finding some of the recent science on online dating, I knew I had to include it in my Body Language of Dating and Love course because online dating is becoming an integral part of the dating process. Even if you don't have an online dating profile, we still do online courtship with our Facebook profiles, even texting, IMing, emailing. A lot of courtship and flirting happens in the digital world. So in this bonus, I'm going to be talking about online dating for people who are on online dating websites, as well as for people who are using any kind of technology to engage and connect with the person that they're trying to date. So first, I want to point you to the science about what we know from a profile. And when I say profile, it could be a Facebook profile, Twitter profile, online dating profile. This is what we can gauge about someone from both their pictures and the words they use on the internet. Simin Vazir at the University of Texas wanted to know how much of someone's personality you could tell from just looking at a picture. So what she did was she tested students' personalities through questionnaires. So she had students fill out self-personality questionnaires, ask them things about their extroversion levels, self-esteem, religiousness, and emotional stability. Then, to make sure those were accurate, she had their friends fill out personality questionnaires for them to make sure that she really got an accurate view of someone's personality, what they said about themselves as well as what others said about themselves. And they measured in total 10 different personality traits. And here's what she found. Amazingly, just from looking at a picture, they could get 9 out of 10 personality traits correct. The only one they couldn't guess was conscientiousness. This is mind-blowing, that we could look at someone's photo and know what the 9 out of 10 of their major personality traits. So the pictures that you choose for your profiles, even your avatars in your Gmail account, sometimes when you send email you can have a little avatar in there too. All of those pictures speak volumes to your personality and send a lot of nonverbal signals to the people that you're trying to date. Okay, so if that didn't blow your mind enough, let me tell you about the second thing we can tell about someone's profile. So first we saw personality, second, confidence. So researchers at the University of Liverpool took a bunch of pictures of men, and half of them they sprayed with the canned deodorant Axe, and half of them they left alone. Then they took their photos, and they took those photos and asked women to rate the men on levels of attractiveness. This is what's incredible. The ladies judged the Axe-blasted men as more attractive, even though they couldn't smell them firsthand. This wasn't scratch and sniff photography, but somehow, without fail, all the women thought that the men who had been sprayed with the Axe body spray were more confident. So what happened? The researchers figured out that the perfumey scented guys felt more confident, and so in their photo, that confidence came through. This has wonderful implications for us because it means that we can control, in some sense, our attractiveness by picking pictures where we felt extremely confident. So first, picking pictures from times, places, and activities that you really excel at. So I love looking at people's dating profile pictures and where people are hiking and they love hiking, or they're spending time with their family and they're really happy with their family. First, you always want these to be authentic. So don't pretend to be with a puppy if you don't really like a puppy. Don't pretend to go to a wine tasting or play volleyball on the beach if that's not what you really like, because that confidence or that lack of confidence will come through. So pick activities that genuinely make you feel great. That will increase your attractiveness. Now, what about staged photo shoots? Because those happen, especially if you have your friend take a couple photos of you. What's really important is A, surround yourself with people who make you feel good. So bring your friends to the shoot. Second, go to a location that also makes you comfortable. Wear clothes that make you feel comfortable. And have conversations with people. Do your success routine before you even take the picture. Pre-power posing before you go to the photo shoot or in between shots is the best way to get your confidence pumping, because you're going to get your cortisol levels to drop and your testosterone levels to increase, and that confidence will show through and that will make you more attractive. And this brings me right into point 3, which is attractiveness. This study is amazing. I'm sorry, I have so many studies that I think are amazing. I know, I'm a total geek. Okay, this is another amazing study. Just hang on with me. This one was done by Rebecca Brand at Villanova University. And what she did is she asked women to judge 100 different online dating profiles of men between the ages of 22 and 25. Here was the catch. The women were shown the men's photos and written profiles separately, then asked to judge the profile's author or the man in the photo on traits like confidence, sense of humor, masculinity, and overall attractiveness. What's crazy is she found that women didn't need photos to discern which men were attractive. They could tell based on the confidence level the men displayed in their writing. So in other words, the women who weren't shown photos along with the written profiles could still pick out the most attractive men. Brand explained that the confidence from attractive people comes across in their pictures because they generally view themselves as high value mate material. So again, this all comes back to the central point of this course, which is that I want you to feel worthy and feel confident, and that comes through. That it doesn't actually have to do with your looks. A lot of it has to do with our own feelings. So in the same way that I want you to power pose and do your success routine and be around confident, inspiring people before you take your photos, I want you to do the exact same thing before you write your profile and before you write emails, sometimes text messages, although those can be pretty short. But making sure that you feel confidence that comes out in your writing. Women will read your profile and see you as more attractive because you value yourself as a high quality mate, and then therefore they will value you as a high quality mate. So first, don't let anyone write your profile. And if someone's going to help you with your profile, which is totally fine, make sure that they make you feel good about yourself. Do your pre-power posing, do your success routine, so that before you put any pen to paper or words to the page, you are showcasing how good you feel. So the most important tips that we've learned so far in this section is one, pre-power posing and doing your success routine before any photos are taken, picking photos from areas that you really excel in, activities or around people who you really love, and making sure that before you write anything, it's really you and you really feel like yourself. You surround yourself with people who make you feel confident. There's a couple other online dating tips based on some of the science that I wanted to share with you as well. First, remember learning about the microexpressions. Number one is you always want to have genuine happiness in your pictures. So none of those fake smiles. Number two, beware of contempt. Make sure you don't have any of those one-sided smirks. Next, in your photo shoots, especially if you're outside, be careful that you're not accidentally showing anger. A lot of people, when they're in the sun, they crinkle their eyes and it looks very similar to the anger microexpression. So make sure that your eyes are relaxed, your smile reaches your full cheeks, and you're not showing any hidden microexpressions like fear, contempt, or anger. I have a little ninja tip for you here as well. So the biggest question I get is, which photo do I choose, especially if you can only choose one, or which photos do I choose? OkCupid has a free tool called Your Best Face, where what you can do is you can upload 2, 3, 4, 6 different pictures of yourself, and they'll have random people vote on their favorite picture. So they'll tell you this picture of you got the best response from people of the opposite sex, and you can actually choose the age range of the person you're trying to attract. So it's a great way to gauge what is your most attractive picture. Second, this tip is for women. So women, remember how we talked about preening and self-touch. That's an aspect of nonverbal attraction. So one thing you can do is you can self-touch in your photos to be more flirty. So here are two photos from one of my photo shoots in the exact same pose. One looks a lot more professional than the other, and really the only difference is having the one I'm touching my hair. So you can also, if you want to be seen as more open, more flirty, more available, you can do the flirty self-touch to convey this. Number 3, and this is a reminder that all the body language tips we learned in this entire course can be used in your photographs. The big one that I want to highlight is showing your hands. So as much as possible to show more of your body, especially your hands, because they're your trust indicators. And this shows people that you are not hiding anything. Now, remember, this is a subconscious thing. We don't realize that we're doing it. But when we can see someone's hands, and the more of their body we can see, the more we feel we can trust them. Basically, you're allowing them to do visual voyaging on you. So you have to have at least one full body picture, and if you can, try to have more pictures showing your hands and upper body. Let's look at some profile data. So I pulled a bunch of data from some of the big major dating sites on what happens with profiles. And here are a couple bullets for us. So first, the more details on your profile, the more activity you have. There is a direct correlation there that profiles that have lots of information, more details, there's a direct correlation that they get more activity, more winks, likes, clicks, dates, and matches. So if you're thinking about having more or less, more is always better. Second, selfies are acceptable for women. So 45% of the top ranking straight women use them, and there was no pattern for men. So men who have a lot of selfies, there's really no correlation there that those are positive. In fact, some women view them negatively, but for women, totally fine, even good. Small thing here, but very significant percentage is that it's 28% better for a male to refer to females as women rather than girls. Just that one thing can affect how a woman perceives a man's view of women, right? So that one little word change, and this gets into what's called statement analysis, which is the words we use dictate a lot about what we say, and we talk a lot about that in our lie detection course, that how we use words affects our internal feelings, and the use of the term girls can indicate a certain preference or a certain attitude towards women that women don't always prefer. Lastly, men who use whom get 31% more contacts from the opposite sex. I don't want you to gimmick this up, okay, and go put whom all over your profile. In fact, I think it would be hilarious to put that fact in your profile. But if you know how to properly use the word whom, don't be afraid to. This is a graph I pulled from OkCupid that I thought was very interesting. What they did is they looked at people's messages, the content of people's messages, and they found that when people added physical compliments to those messages, had a worse response rate. More comments on cool, that's fascinating, awesome, that's nice, those were fine, but words that indicated physical compliments got less responses. So if you're going to reach out to someone, you're better off commenting on connection, personality, as opposed to physical compliments. Another OkCupid data chart found that specifics are successful. So another thing they examined in messages as well as profiles, the more specific details you could give, the better. So less generalizing. And look at all these different words that were mentioned. Video games, physics, tattoos, zombie, vegetarian, metal, band, favorite movies. The more specific you get, the better your response rate, the better your connection rate. And here is the last tip I'm going to leave you with. On average, research has found it takes a minimum of 2 weeks of computer courtship to equal 1 hour of face-to-face time. That's a pretty incredible difference, that 2 weeks of computer courtship is made up in 1 hour of face-to-face chat. So, if you're online dating, as quickly as possible, you want to get to the phone to hear that voice tone, get on video chat, and then get to person. I know that that's a little bit scary, but it's better to find out right away if there's that physical connection and to be able to read their body language and show your best body language in video chat and person to person. So the faster you can get to that level to just see if there's anything there, the better. A little side note here is there are 2 research studies that are about to be released for online dating and courtship, but they weren't out by the time I was ready to put this course out. So if you want me to update you, I'm going to be posting the new research for free, of course, at some point on the blog in the next few months. So if you want that new research in this online dating area, there's a lot coming out, and I will be posting all of it for free on my blog.